We have breaking news. Let's get right to it.
Past 24 hours, we've seen 34 new cases of COVID-19 here in Utah.
Following breaking news out of Utah, a magnitude 5.7 earthquake hitting just after 7 a.m. local time, about 10 miles west of Salt Lake City.
You need 100 to 150,000 tests a day.
All right, man, it's been a minute, but your boy's back. iSo20POD podcast. A podcast to get you through your day. Maybe you're isolating for quarantine and, you know, maybe you're going through COVID-19 right now. COVID-19 is a bizarre thing right now because, you know, vaccines are flowing, right? We're in a really, really interesting time, I feel, right now with the virus, right? The virus, coronavirus, like Cardi B said, right? Coronavirus, it's real. You know what I mean? It's really bizarre because vaccines are flowing. People are ready. Like, we just had spring break. Some people are going through spring break right now. My son actually went through he had his spring break from school, and Miami, like, people are going to Miami because Florida's just open. I don't even think Florida really even shut down during the whole coronavirus pandemic. Like, them in Georgia kind of were lenient, I guess you would say, just from what I've seen in the news and whatnot. But yeah, the vaccines are flowing. People are feeling a little bit more comfortable. Establishments aren't requiring masks to be on. So a sense of we're getting back into the swing of things in like the way it was in 2018, 2019. The past 5 years have been really, really trying. I don't think trying is the word. It's just been different, right? The last 5 years in my own life have been different. You know, starting a business, getting multiple jobs, putting more creativity out there, and throwing a pandemic in the mix, and throwing a new baby in the mix. You know, last time we talked, I believe we were just about, it was pre-baby time. I think it was the day before Anaya was born. I want to say it was my last pod, and Anaya just turned 5 months. So it's been a while. So, you know, some life updates. Today's pod might just be kind of just life updates. I don't know if I got any news or sports that I would want to talk about, but yeah, if you're listening, I just appreciate your time. Really, I'll try to keep it short and to the point, but you know how it goes with these iSo20 pods. Most recently, so today we released an episode of Unrestricted. It was just me and Angel just kind of talking after we did No Hablo Dre Spino. But let me backtrack a little bit. We had baby Anaya, so she is officially 5 months old. She is the most beautifulest, pretty, like, she's just like a perfect looking baby. And I say looking because her attitude is something else. She definitely takes her mom's attitude. Right now, mom is dealing with a baby that is attached to her because of her own doing, right? Tressa as a baby, when Anaya was a baby, did not want to put her down at all. Did not want to put her down, and now she's having to deal with a baby that doesn't want to be put down, doesn't want to be removed from mama, right? Even with me, like, I'll be holding her and showing her love and whatnot, playing with her, and then, like, when she wants mom, she wants mom. It's like World War II in my house, and it's freak out session until she gets in mom's arms. But then mom wants to do, mom thing. Mom, she wants to go and do whatever whether if it's taking a shower, whatever it is, she wants to do her thing, but she can't and I won't let her. And I always tell her, yo, you created that beast. So if you are a new parent, my words for you is, it's okay not to hold your baby 24/7. I know it's hard. Trust me, I felt the same way with Anaya, with all my kids, right? Wanting to hold them and everything like that. But I understood that if we get them used to this stuff, as far as being held, they're going to expect that day in and day out. And mom and dad aren't going to be able to do mom and dad things, right? So it's a little challenging there. But we went in for the C-section, scheduled C-section on November 7th. And Anaya was born that morning, 8 o'clock hour, I believe. We got there early. We got there like 4 something in the morning, like 4:55 or something like that. We checked in at like 5. At Riverton Hospital here in Utah. It's Riverton's just like a suburb of Salt Lake City. It's kind of. I mean, it's outside the valley. It's kind of within the valley, but Riverton Hospital is where we delivered all of our kids there. Dr. Chavez, he did an amazing job. He actually came onto my radio show maybe about a week later, and because it was her week checkup. I asked him, I was like, hey, can you come on my radio show and whatnot? And so he called in, and we chatted a little bit and just expressed my thank yous, right? Thank you for delivering both of our child. I say both of them because it was just Amari and Anaya that he delivered. But yeah, just really thanking him because this is the last shot. This is the last dance, if you will, unless something miraculously happens. Tressa and I agreed that we're done with kids. I think she got her daughter and I got my 2 boys, and I say that because like I'm very blessed to have a healthy daughter, but Tressa was the one that really wanted a daughter. And I apologize if you're watching this, whatever years from now, you're like, what, Dad, you didn't want me? No, Daddy did. It's just Daddy was good with the 2 already. That sounds so bad. I'm so sorry, baby. I love you so much. But you're my child. You know where Dad's heart's at. So we I know this is all over the place, but I'm trying to gather my thoughts as I'm doing this because it's been a while since we did the isolation, right? So we have the baby, we have Anaya, and everything goes really, really good, mind you, this is during COVID, right? So we're having a baby during a pandemic, and we don't know what to expect. I wasn't able to go to each appointment. I was not able to go to. So from the day that Tressa got pregnant to the day of delivery, I wasn't able to meet with Dr. Chavez. I wasn't able to do any of that because the clinic was only allowing the patient, to come into the clinic. And rightfully so. I understand. It was during a time where we were all scared, right? Pandemic, no toilet paper, right? And so all of that's going on. I get it. I understand. It's for people's safety and whatnot. So that was hard. Because it wasn't the easiest pregnancy. Tressa, she dealt with all of our pregnancies. It was a rough pregnancy. Trips to the ER, trips to Instacare was a regular thing throughout all 3 pregnancies. But I feel like we handled it the way that we could, right? The best way we could. So we get to the hospital on that morning, early as shit, right? And we go upstairs and we get checked in and everything like that. And Tressa seems really just ready to do this thing. And then you could just tell that things started to get a little bit more nervous and whatnot. And then we get into the room and she's awake through the whole C-section, right? She's awake through the whole thing, and I'm by her side the whole time. And we start the operation, and Dr. Chavez is great. It's almost like a homie doing this procedure, right? He's very very just calm, cool, jokey, regular type of conversation. Like, yo, how was that morning wake up? Like, how was your coffee? Like simple, like just little banter that you would have with your homies. And so he has a really good way about making you feel comfortable and making you feel like this is just an everyday thing. And for him it is, right? He's delivered maybe 8 babies that day, whatever the case may be. And he expresses that in a way where you're not super high intense, because my girl is about to get cut open and my baby's in there, right? Our daughter's in there, right? So it's not just a little small thing. This is a big procedure. And so to see to have him be so comfortable and making us feel comfortable, it was awesome. So Anaya, he cuts her open and whatnot, and this is our third C-section, so the scar tissues and stuff like that is pretty thick, and so they had a little bit of a harder time getting her out of there, and like they're tugging and pulling on Tressa, like on her stomach, tugging and pulling and getting guts out and stuff like that, and it's like, holy smokes, like you get to see everything. Like they have a tarp up, like kind of trying to block you, but there's mirrors. You see what's going on. You see the guts being set off to the side. You see everything, and it's cold in there. It's like, whoa, like I feel like I'm gonna pass out. But it went really well. Matter of fact, I got Anaya's first cries on tape. I recorded Anaya's first cries. So you know what? I'm gonna look and see if I have it, and if I do, I'm gonna insert it right here.
Imagine a C-section. Give me here. Big old chunky kid. All right.
Oh.
I can't. I can cover. Oh my gosh, she's so cute. 15 seconds. Good.
She's moving. She's good.
She's good. She's great. Oh, by the way, I'm supposed to remind you. 12 new prescriptions. What? 12 new prescriptions. Here you go. You might be right about 8 pounds. Tressa, that is not a small child.
You can come over here, Dad.
Yeah, stand right here.
So yeah, baby's first cry, Anaya's first cry. It was amazing just to hear her. That's something that, you know, with Tavian, I didn't know what was going on. It was my first child, my first delivery, everything like that. Whoa, what's going on, right? But you learn that them crying loudly is a great thing, right? They're getting all the stuff out of their lungs. They're being brought into this world. They're suctioning everything out. So she was right away, boom, crying, boom. She got color to herself really, really quick. So she wasn't really underneath the light for long. Everything about that went, the delivery went really, really well. So it was really, really cool. Just an overall good experience at the hospital. Even the days that we were in the hospital. So we went in on Saturday and we were able to leave on Tuesday, I want to say, because we were in there Saturday, Sunday, Monday. Did we go home Monday? We went home Tuesday, I believe. We went home Tuesday. And it was really cool. It was a good experience. The people at the hospital took really good care of Tressa. Some of the nurses were a little bit more aggressive than others, right, with changing her bandages and stuff like that. But I think that just comes from experience and whatnot. I wasn't able to leave. That was one thing that was different about this delivering this time, is that I wasn't able to leave. I wasn't able to just go home, maybe take a shower, maybe do some stuff at home and then come back to the hospital, because once you're in there, you're literally in quarantine at this point. Like you're there, you can't leave, you have to stay there until you actually get discharged from the hospital. Which it wasn't a problem. It was just different, you know. The food at the hospital was really, really good. I know some hospitals have bad food, but no, Riverton, Intermountain, food was amazing. So that was cool. And Tressa wasn't on any type of diet or anything like that, so she was able to eat really good stuff too, which was cool. So we have Anaya, and then we go home, and I'm working at the radio station now, right? So I've only been at the radio station for maybe a month. So I started in October. I think my first day was October 19th, and we had Anaya on November 7th. So just about a month, a little bit less than a month, and I'm already asking for time off. So I felt horrible. I felt really bad about asking, but E-Rock, my program director, boss man, he was really cool about it. Bangarang, everybody there was really supportive and just like, hey, take as much time as you need. We'll cover you, whatever you need, we got you. So that was very, very comforting, because not a lot of employers will be like, yo, take as much time as you need, even though you just started and you're just learning, and there's a lot riding on this stuff. Like, you have a lot of responsibility. And, in hindsight, that was a huge thing for me. That said a lot about the company that I'm working for, right? The team that I have behind me, during that moment was huge. And I just champion, the team for just being there, right? I think we want the things in life that we want as well, right? So it goes back to treating people the way that you would want to be treated. I'm sure if anybody on the team had something come up, whether if it's a pregnancy, a surgery, time off, whatever the case may be, if they need to get away, just to know that your team is going to support you and hold it down for you while you're out, that said a lot to me, and it made me feel good. Made me feel good about just the ability to do that. So thank you to the team, to the squad, for holding it down. Along with like the pod community, like the guys in the pod community, they all asked me if I need anything, and they were really supportive of us during that time. And it's just really cool to know that I got support out there, even though I don't ask anybody for a thing. Just to know that the support's there and that people are in my corner, and not, because a lot of times we look at the negative, right? The negative in whatever our situation is. And sometimes we forget that, no, it's not all what you're thinking it is. Like, you do have support out there. And that was one of those things where, yeah, bringing a new baby and starting a new thing, and, having obligations in certain places, a lot of people were understanding, right? I just started helping out produce, it was called the Let's Go podcast at the time, but the Hour Continues with Junior Hammond at the time. And it was like, yo, we're starting this right now. We got people booked out, but I'm also having a baby during this time too, right? And it literally got to the point where I was like, dog, like, Tressa might go into labor at any moment. And if she does, I'm leaving all my shit here and I'm jetting to Salt Lake, right? I'm jetting over to where I live. And where the podcast is at, it's in West Point. So for reference, it's just north of Salt Lake, right? So yeah, just the understanding of them and being like, you know what, we understand, Dre. Even if you want to just pause and then just resume after the baby, whatever, like, they were really understanding of that. And I appreciate everybody just respecting my family, respecting and being empathetic and being understanding during that time. That was really cool of everyone. So we have Anaya, and then we get home, and Amari, right? So this was a fear of ours, that Amari is no longer the baby. Tavian's 7 years old. He's been wanting a sister. He wanted Amari, I apologize. I'm sorry if you watch this later and you're like, my brother. Tavian wanted Amari to be his sister. He wanted a sister before his brother. So Tavian was already hype about it. He was like, yo, I'm ready for my sister. Can she come home yet? Like, he came up to no, he didn't come up to the hospital. We were FaceTiming. We would FaceTime him, his sister, and he was just ready to hold her. He was just like, I want to see my sister. I want to hold her and whatnot. So we get home, and Tavian's just, he's ecstatic. I pick up the boys and I bring them over to the crib because Tressa was already there. And Tavian's ecstatic. Amari's asleep when I pick him up from Nana and Papa's, right? And so I pick up Amari, and I'm carrying Amari into the crib, and Amari's asleep the whole time, the whole visit. Everybody's getting to know Anaya and stuff. Amari's asleep. Amari wakes up maybe 2 hours into him being home, and he wakes up, and he's on the floor in front of me, and I'm on the floor with him and whatnot. And he wakes up and he looks at me, and then he looks at the baby. He looks at Anaya, and he freaks out, man, like freaking out, right? Like, he just knows that, okay, there's another baby here. What's going on, right? And man, I'll tell you what, like, that month, it was a good month, maybe even 2 months, that Amari would not have anything to do with his sister. He did not like her at all. if daddy was, and this is when he started to be more attached to daddy, right? Amari's always been a daddy's boy, but he was always with Tressa. Like he wanted mom, but I guess you would say it was equal. Like he showed love to both of us, right? But when Anaya came, he was daddy.
No, man. I seen him growing up.
Bro, for real, man. Science has proven time after time they're not real. Bro,
Guys,
look it up.
it's okay. Let's just talk about it on the Gray People podcast.
Hey guys, not everything's black and white.
Join us as we get into the gray areas on the Gray People podcast. Tune in anywhere you listen to podcasts.
Like he made it a point to be like, no, I'm daddy's mine type of thing. And anytime I would get with Anaya or anything, he would get mad. He would get mad. And he would throw you looks. And, you know, if I ask him to come do something, he would ignore me and stuff like that. So the whole, for any parents out there, if you have multiple children, I don't know if it's because they're close in age, but once the baby becomes not the baby anymore, that is a tough thing for them. And I'm happy to say that Amari has outgrown that. He's no longer jealous or upset at mom or dad or, you know, his sister. He loves his sister now. He'll give her the occasional hug and kiss and hold her. But his thing now is stealing her binkies. Amari at 1 year old, he didn't have no binkies, right? We were able to break him off of binkies. But then binkies came back into the house, right? So like his thing now is like scoping out where the binkies at. Like if we take it out of her mouth, he'll hurry and like grab it and like put it in his mouth and whatnot. And so that's something else that we're working on. But man, the family is great. As I mentioned, Tavian just finished up spring break, so he got to go to Dave & Buster's for the first time, and he had a blast. He had too much of a blast. He was like, all right, I'm ready to go home now. Like, I'm tired. You know what I mean? So that was cool. I'm proud of that kid. He just brought home his report card. So I was on my computer and I was doing some stuff, and Tressa came in and she's like, you're not gonna be too happy with your son. And I was like, oh gosh, like what happened now? And let me tell you that Tavian is a good kid. Tavian doesn't get in trouble at school. We never get a teacher's note or anything like that. They get colors in school. They get it's green for a good day, yellow if they're like, you kind of fucked up a little bit, and then red where they're like, nah, we need to tell you something about your kid, right? And every day Tavian gets green. He's always consistently green. He's always helpful. He's always on task. He just is a good kid at school. And so when Tressa said that, I was kind of like, whoa, what's going on, right? And so she hands it to me, and it says report card, and he gets a pass and everything. Like he scores well and everything. And you know, I tell him, I was like, all right, man, you did really well. You know, like you deserve something off of Amazon. So I let him pick whatever he wants off of Amazon, and you know, that's something I like to do with him and whatnot. Something I want to do more of is I want to do more trips to the library. Once we're out of I'm using air quotes right now, but out of the pandemic, I want to go to the library more. I want him to experience the library. I feel like in my generation, growing up with in my generation, the library was the place. Like if they had activities, and they still do. I understand that, but I feel like we didn't put too much of a emphasis on going to the library. Like it wasn't a thing where it was like, I don't know how to explain it. It used to be something really popular, and now I feel like it's not. And I feel like a lot of it has to do with our phones, right? The ability to have a book on your phone. There really is no reason to go to the library anymore. There's no reason to go through a Rolodex and search for a book, right? Because I can just tell my phone, hey, find this book, and it finds it for me. And now the book can be read to us, right? So I want to bring it back to, hey, let's go to the library. Let's see what activities are there. Let's see if maybe there's an author there, or maybe they have somebody that is going to read the kids the book, or maybe there is a science activity. Remember the Scholastics books? Remember that was a thing back in the day? Back in the 80s and the 90s, the Scholastics books was yo, you sell these many books, you can get something really cool. Or if you read these many books, you can get something really cool. Like Pizza Hut used to do that as well, where you read so many books, you can get a free pizza, right? And so I want to get more into that. I want to encourage him to go to the library, pick out a book, have his own library card, you know, like those kind of things. I think that it will bring, it's a piece of nostalgia, but it also will bring attention to education that I really didn't take serious as a kid. And, you know, my pops wasn't really involved in that side of things too much, you know? And so that's where, you know, we always try to be better than our parents, right? And I feel like that's an area that I can personally try to be better at. So that's on my bucket list, I guess. Not bucket list, but on my, like, I want to achieve to do that thing, you know? So yeah. I got engaged. That's a new thing. So it's nothing like me and Tressa, we've been together 8 years. Going on 9, you know, it's almost coming up on a decade. And, you know, this is the woman that I built my family with. This is the woman that I'm going to be with forever. Right. Lord willing. Right. And so, I finally on our 8th anniversary, I was like, you know what? She gets flowers all the time. She gets prizes. She gets gifts all the time and stuff like that. How can I make this 8th anniversary special for her? Well, I was like, yo, let's put a ring on it. Let's go and get a ring. And so I proposed on YouTube. So YouTube gang, if you're watching this, you probably already seen my proposal. Yes, all 20 minutes 55 seconds or something like that of it. Angel always gives me a hard time about how long it took me to propose in that video. But it was something special to me. It was me painting a picture for the world, right? Because I know this. I lived it, right? We've lived these 8 years together. We know the story between us, right? But I wanted to paint this picture for everybody publicly because I was proposing publicly. And the reason why I chose to propose the way I did is because I was trying to be creative with the way I did it, right? I didn't want to just get down on one knee, which I did get down on one knee. But I wanted to do something that was like so regular that she didn't think anything of it, right? I started off with like it was a music video reaction, and then it transitioned into me actually proposing, which caught her off guard, by the way. So, yeah, that's kind of the reason why I did it. And so we've been engaged for a couple months now. You know, the pandemic is kind of interesting because while, you know, I'm down for whatever she wants to do. If she wants to just go to the courthouse and call it good, I'm good with that. If she wants to, you know, rent out a mansion and do the whole Bentley and Rolls Royces and put $20,000 into this thing, I'm cool with that too. Whatever she wants to do, I'm happy with. I just want to make her happy and make sure that she knows that she's special and whatnot, and do that for her. I think it's cool that all my kids can be involved now, right? You can be involved in this big ceremony kind of thing for mom and dad. I think that's really, really dope. So yeah, I'm really excited about that. I started a new segment on my radio show on U92, Unrestricted with Drerawka, 3 to 7 Monday through Friday, Saturday 3 to 9. So if you're in Utah, 92.5 FM. If you're outside of Utah, you can download the U92 app and take me everywhere you go. We got tons of content on there, and the engagement is so dope. The thing that I love about doing my radio show is that I'm really able to connect with my community in a way that I haven't before, right? Because I've always been in our community. I've always done things with my community, our community. But now it's on a bigger reach. It's on just a different scale. And I think it's really dope. And so, you know, I'm always trying to figure out how I can get my folks involved in what I'm doing, or even just create opportunities for folks, right? And so, Angel and I, we always banter about what we want to do next, and how we can get creative and whatnot. And you know, me being half Mexican, I don't know Spanish. So something that we've always talked about is like Angel kind of helping me learn Spanish and whatnot. And, you know, the idea to just turn it into a content piece came to real life. You know, Angel came up with, I was like, should we call it like no hablo español, or like no sé, like just spitballing different ideas. And Angel was like, no, let's call it no hablo Dre español. And I was like, that's it. That's gold. That's money, because that name just rolls off the tongue. It looks dope. It's that dude coming up with that name. It's really, really, really cool. Hey guys, Drerawka here, and I'm so excited to be partnering up with Happiest Med, which is your #1 place for premium CBD, and it won't break your bank. I know I've been personally into certain pharmacies, and I see CBD on the counter, and it's like $80, $100 for just a small little vial of, I don't know if I'm getting peanut oil or if I'm getting the real CBD thing. With Happiest Med, you don't have to worry about that. They're locally owned and sourced. And get this, for the people that have a job and they need to maybe urine test and things like that, no THC is in this, which means it is workplace appropriate and workplace safe. So you won't have to worry about that with Happiest Med. So make sure you come on over to happiestmed.com. Check out all the products because they have something for everyone. Again, that's happiestmed.com. So we started that. I believe we just recorded segment 30. So we've been going 30 consecutively, 30. So however many weeks that is. Let's see. That's 6 weeks. 6 weeks in a row. Yeah. So 6 weeks in a row we've been going hard on No Hablo Dre Español, and it is funny. Again, YouTube gang, if you're watching this, you probably already seen some of the segments. Make sure you go and drop a comment. Maybe you want us to say something. Maybe there's a phrase that I should be learning. Definitely be engaged with that. We have so much fun recording that segment and just playing off of each other. There's a lot that you guys don't see that doesn't really get aired or showed on YouTube, that we just banter back and forth. And maybe I'll start leaving the recorder on and just let that play, and then maybe we'll release it as some like bonus content or something, because Waldo will be here in the studio and he'll just be dying laughing. Or even Dalton was he was at the very first one that Angel and I recorded, and he was just having a blast with it as well. And so thank you, Angel. Thank you for helping out with that segment. It's a lot of fun. I just want to shout out the Podmunity one time, because these guys are working hard. These guys are out here grinding. I'm just like a proud big brother, just in the corner, just, you know, I'm always working, right? But these guys are podding weekly, and I love it. And so when I'm like sitting back as the pod father with my cigar and I'm just drinking my scotch, I'm like, yeah, my guys are out here grinding. And I'll shoot them all. I always shoot them a text, yo, like, good job on that one, or what were you thinking, like, you missed this or whatever, you know. But it's just beautiful to see, and to see new guys come up and new guys reach out, and new guys and gals, you know, when I say guys, I'm just kind of grouping males and females, so don't try to cancel me. Seeing the new ones just pop up, right? Like the hippie and the blonde, right? They just came out, and they are grinding, and they're putting in new work and just trying new things. And the Lake Talk 801, those are those guys, man. I really love what those guys are doing. You know, G Daddy Funk even said it at one point where he was like, man, like, what are we, like, there was some type of doubt. And I feel like every creative has that moment. And I feel like once you're able to shed that, maybe the expectation of others, or maybe shed what you think might be hate from somebody else, or whatever the case may be, once you're able to shed that and really be like, I'm just doing this because I'm having fun, or I'm going to reach out to this person and have this person on because they look interesting or they're fun, right? It changes your mentality. It changes what you're producing. It changes how often you produce too, because you're not worried about what everybody's going to think. You're not worried about what the outcome is and things like that. And I love it. I love it so much. So salute to everybody in the pod community. Salute to my man Will Wonder. So my man Will Wonder, Will Wonder was, we've been friends for a very long time, man, over a decade. And Will, he was the first person that I talked to about my idea to create like my podcast network before podcast networks became like a thing, right? I was telling Will this, and I'm talking maybe 6 or 7 years ago, telling Will this, and now it's a thing, right? So it's not anything cool, right? But I was telling Will that I wanted to produce his podcast, and Will, you better tell the truth. I told you, I was like, yo, I want to produce your podcast. I want you to start one. You're the guy. Like, I believe in you this much to tell you to your face, you should start a podcast. And, for years, Will, I would jokingly tell him, yo, throw him shots and stuff. And he's like, yeah, I will when the time was right, kind of thing. And, I'm happy to announce that Will actually started his podcast, the Will Wonder Pod, and it's a solo pod, and he does a really good job at it. He starts off by kind of giving you life updates and where his thoughts are, and then he transitions into either like an interview with somebody, which he has some really dope interviews, and then he like talks about wrestling, sports, right, basketball. That's my sports podcast, right? That's who I go to for sports knowledge. I give you guys a little bit of sports here, a little bit of sports there, but I'm by far not a sports guy. I enjoy sports. I enjoy the UFC fights, but there's no way I'm an analyst of UFC, of the martial arts. There's no way I'm a sports analyst when it comes to the NBA and trade rumors and anything like that. But Will Wonder, he got you covered. NFL, MLB, NBA, wrestling, he got you covered. So make sure you go check him out. I highly suggest you subscribe to his podcast. He lays it out really well for timestamps and everything like that. He's really good at it, and this is my beef with Will Wonder, is that I believed in him. He could have been doing this years ago. Now, some people might say, yeah, but if he started then, he wouldn't be where he is now, or he wouldn't ask the questions. Whatever the case may be. Will Wonder should have started this shit a long time ago when I suggested him do it, right? I just appreciate the guys that are putting in the work. The other side of the beehive, my man Justin and Angel, they've elevated, right? They got Brian in the mix and whatnot. And I'm telling you this stuff that's already old, right? You guys already know this stuff, but it's been so long that I've done an iSo20POD podcast that this is my thoughts. This is the solo pod, right? This is the iSo pod. So just want to salute the other side of the beehive, the young OGs. They're going hard with the After Dark. I had those guys on. So I had those guys on. They were my first guests with the Turbulence Check when I first started doing like interviews, I guess you would say. I've seen those guys, and I reached out to those guys very, very early, and had those guys on my podcast. And then I introduced all these guys together, right? And now it's beautiful to see these guys potting together and creating things together. But I brought that up because I started another segment on my radio show called The Creative Corner, where I get to highlight these guys. Going back to what I was saying, how can I put people in position for opportunities, right? I got an opportunity to do something really cool. How can I help my community? How can I help the homies? The homies that are actually out here doing something, right? We all have homies that do stuff, but they ain't really consistent with shit, right? But I want to give opportunities to people and help people that are literally doing stuff, right? I don't want to just waste my time. And so I had these guys. These guys were my first guests on the Turbulence Check. These guys were my first guests on the Creative Corner as well. And that was really dope. They were my first guests in studio at U92, which I didn't follow protocol, and I had to do some Zoom in meetings, right? But we're slowly but surely getting back into in studio type of stuff. But just wanted to shout those guys out, man. Dalton, man, my guy Dalton K. Jensen, the Thinking Project. If you have not checked my man's out, You got to. Dalton is he is something special. And when I say he's something special, it's because Dalton is very young. He's very young, but his age doesn't show him his knowledge, right? He is very knowledgeable, and he's somebody that I look up to for these new stuff, the new stuff, right? Like the NFTs, the digital currency and stuff like that. And, you know, just books, knowledge in that area, self-development. He is very much that guy, and he's a great father and husband. So I really, in all my years, like now I'm at a place in my life where that is the stuff that I want around me, right? It's not all the money, the glitz, the glamour. It's not the cool factor. It's nothing like that. It's like, yo, are you a good human? Do you treat your family right? Are you out here? Are you faithful to the ones that you love, right? That's the energy that I want around me. If you are somebody with a big chain, you got a big old stack of money, you got a nice ass whip, that's cool, but are you a good person, right? Are you going to treat people nice? Are you going to fulfill your obligations? Are you going to be a man of your word, right? That carries so much more weight than you doing something cool. Who cares about that, right? And I say that because Dalton is, he carries himself really well. He is a great father, great husband. He is looking out for others. He's just a good dude, a guy that I trust, and a guy that I'm glad that is around. You know, I literally will call this guy and be like, yo, Dalton, I need you here right now, man. I got to introduce you to this person. And he'll show up within 5 minutes, right? Like, and that's the energy that I feel like we should be on, and that's the energy that I'm on. And that ain't changing anytime soon. So it's beautiful. Definitely check out the Thinking Project. He does really good interviews with everyone, like cool people, musicians, business owners, people that are in the tech area. Definitely check out his podcast. And then, of course, you know, the 27th Hour with Junior Hammond. We just started a sub pod called The Hour Continues, where literally after we're done with the 27th hour, after Junior finishes up with his guests and whatnot, we literally turn on the cameras, turn on the recorder, and we just banter about questions that are submitted to us, right? We talk about anything that people want to send us questions on. Somebody sent us a question on racism and how do we combat that. Another question was, how do you give advice to a cheating friend, right? There's so many topics that we talk about in that short amount of time. And it's a sub pod, so it's short and sweet. The response on it has been amazing, and it's really fun to not only produce it, engineer it, and edit it, all that good stuff, but to actually be able to sit down with my friend and have that banter back and forth on these topics, because a lot of his views I don't agree with, right? And a lot of my views he doesn't agree with. And so that's where we have that banter back and forth, and we're able to see the other person's point of view and just have a good time while doing it. So that's awesome. I'm trying to think if there was anybody that the Great People podcast, man. You'll hear some ads run through my podcast with those guys. And the reason why I want to do that is because I want to maximize everything I have for others at the same time, right? And so I hit my man Randy up. I'm like, yo, Randy, let me get a 15, 30 second. Mind you, I asked everybody in the pod community, all my podcasting friends. So the ones that you hear, it's because they sent it to me. So everybody else has been slacking and hasn't sent me their stuff. So make sure you go hit them in their DMs and be like, yo, why aren't you getting Dre your stuff? You know, maybe I'm not the cool guy. I need new friends. Now I'm just playing. But yeah, the Great People podcast, my man Randy, my man Sean, they're back on it, and I love to see them do their thing, because the Great People podcast was very consistent, right? But then we've all hit that, except the other side of the beehive, where we just kind of either we lose motivation or we just stop, whatever the case may be. The Great People podcast went through that, but now they're back, and they're better than ever. When my man Sebastian's on there, it's awesome. You know, I mean, I wish my man Sebastian would be more consistent on it, but hey, that's their thing, whatever the case may be for that. I'm just happy to see them grinding and working on their podcast. Yeah, I was still doing reaction videos, which is awesome. The artists that have been reaching out have been putting out really quality music. The one thing that I'm struggling with right now, which I never struggled with before, is people.
What's up, guys? My name is Dalton Jensen. I'm the host of The Thinking Project. I started the podcast to give business owners a platform to share their experiences and their journeys, and more importantly, I started it to make sure you could turn your skills into money. You can follow us on social media. Wherever you listen to podcasts is where you'll find this one, and I hope you'll tune in.
Oh, that was the money one. That was perfect. I love that.
That was a good one.
I'm gonna try to say this without trying. I don't want to hurt feelings. I don't want to come across as anything other than the truth, right? But I'm having people reach out to me, and it's not just artists. It's a lot of people, managers, promoters, right? Coming at me now, but they didn't before. They're only coming at me now, typically because I'm on the radio, right? And it's not everybody. I'm seeing this more from people that didn't know what I was doing before, right? And so it's hard because I'm the type of person where I would rather have a relationship than just a business inquiry, right? If it's a business inquiry, then cool, pay me, I'll do the services, and we can keep it pushing, right? But when I'm getting people that just send me links and say, yo, put me on, or yo, I need that reaction video, it's like, how about you introduce yourself? How about, hey, I'm so-and-so. I've been watching your reaction videos. I would love for you to react to this video. What would it take, right? Things like that. Like, introduce yourself. Don't just send me a link. By the way, I need you to send me your actual files, right? I need you to email me your files. I have plenty of instructions out there for you to do these kind of things. But what I'm facing right now is people just expecting things without even introducing themselves to me. And it's really bizarre because I've been grinding out here in my community for 16 years. 2005 February, I was grinding, I was learning, I was paying dues. So this is nothing new. I want to be very clear to everybody out there. This is not new to me. I've been out here. So when I have people talk about, oh, this new dude, or just expecting things out of me, it's like, no, I've grinded my way to where I'm at, my position, right? I've put in a lot of work and paid a lot of dues to be able to have opportunities, to be able to create, be able to do certain things. And so when you're not introducing yourself to me, I feel like we're going backwards. And I feel like if you're somebody that is going through this right now, you need to tell these people to stop. They need to introduce themselves. They need to be able to conduct themselves as if we are in real life, right? You're not gonna just come up to me and be, yo, you should put me on. It's like, yo, well, who are you, right? Don't assume that somebody knows you. I never assume somebody knows me. Hi, I'm Dre. Nice to meet you. I do this, and this. I've done this, and this. I got a resume. How much do I got to pay you for your services, right? I do this all, even with creators, right? I don't just assume creators know who I am. I'm introducing myself. Hey, yo, I did it with Ghost, right? So most recently, my most recent creative corner was with Ghost. Ghost is a videographer out here in Utah, really dope content creator. But I reached out to him. Hey, how you doing, Ghost? My name's Dre. I have a segment on my radio show called The Creative Corner. I've been seeing the work that you've been putting in. I love what you do. Would you be interested in coming on and telling your story, right? Something that I wasn't just like, hey, yo, what's a good day for you to come on my podcast? No, it's not, or my radio show. No, like, that's not the right way to approach things. Do it in a way where you're not just being a dickhead about it, right? Think about it. And I know at the same time, a lot of it is experience, right? Reps in the game. A lot of people reaching out to me are younger dudes. They may have never done this before, right? Maybe they're taking the example the wrong way, right? And if you are an artist, maybe ask for some guidance. There are plenty of people out here that will give you guidance. There's a lot of knowledge out here in Salt Lake City. I'm by no means am I the messiah. Do I know everything, right? I'm still learning. I'm a forever student, right? I'm a forever student. I'm forever learning. But what I do know and what I have been through in my experience, I can give you. That is something I can give you, right? Even if you're throwing your own show, I can give you some knowledge on what I've been a part of as an artist, what I've been a part of as a DJ, what I've been a part of as a host, as a promoter as well. All of those things I can give you knowledge on because I've lived it. I went through it. I went through a really great high where it's like, yo, we're killing these shows Monday through Friday. Now I've been through very lows where it's like I can't get 5 people to a show, right? So I know these things because I've lived these things. And guys, if you are just reaching out to my podcast friends just to try to get on to a podcast because you haven't been invited to one, so just slow down. See if it's a right fit. See if are you a fan of that podcast? If so, build that relationship with them. Don't just be like, yo, I see you got a podcast. Let me get on there, right? I got this album coming up. I need to get on. Like, nah. Start a relationship first. Don't just expect people to have you on. Okay? Oh man, how long have I been going for? 48 minutes. Like I said earlier, I don't got no sports for you. The Jazz are killing it. They're number 1 in the West right now. Well, number 1 in the league right now. They lost to the Suns a couple days ago. Mike Conley comes home tonight. He's playing tonight. He's coming back. He got released. He's gonna be killing it tonight. Hopefully. My Blazers are looking good. Damian Lillard, I need him to be healthy. I need CJ McCollum to be healthy. I just need these guys to be healthy through this playoffs. If we can get out the first round, we have a shot. And I argue that every single season, right? And we did it last season. We got to the second round, right? But man, Dame needs help. Dame can't do it all. CJ McCollum, while he is a great player, he's streaky too. You know what I mean? Like, and we need Melo. We need Melo to play his position like he has all season. Play his position, but actually show up. Like, we need that. Man, Durant came back after his suspension because of what was his name? Because of Michael Rappaport. We all seen that. Michael Rappaport Mike lost a lot of respect from people because of the antics that he played and the things that we seen him snitching and stuff. We weren't rocking with that. I don't think we're rocking with him no more. Michael Rappaport. I'm gonna have to unsubscribe from your podcast. Yeah, news. Like I said, vaccines are flowing. I actually told my pops to go and get his second vaccine today, and he's like encouraged me to get vaccinated. I feel like a lot of people that are vaccinated. So there's two things, right? I feel like some people that are vaccinated are shaming those that aren't getting vaccinated. And I see the opposite thing. People that aren't vaccinated are shaming the people that are getting vaccinated. My bottom line is do whatever you feel is right for you and your family. If you feel like, yo, I had COVID, I don't need the vaccine, fine. If you're somebody that's like, I never got the flu vaccine, why would I get the COVID vaccine? Fine. Whatever the case may be, please just make sure that you are not passing judgment. Please make sure that you are leading by what you want in life. If you don't want to be judged, please don't pass judgment to others. It's that simple. It's that simple. And for the mask people, the mask thing is super huge right now in Salt Lake City, specifically because Utah, the mask mandate was up on the 10th. I believe it was the 10th. And Salt Lake City, so that was from Governor Cox, right? And then Salt Lake City Mayor Mendenhall came out. She came out to say, while that's okay, Salt Lake City, no, the expectation is that you wear your mask. We're still on the mask mandate, right? So it's kind of contradictory where the governor, and I'm not sure about politics and structure in office. I'm not sure. about how that whole thing works, but I think the governor trumps the mayor. So that's a bigger issue, right? Because now you got a mayor who is going against the entire branch in Utah government, right? So that's tough. Some people agree with her, some people don't, right? Some people are like, yo, mask on. Some people are like, no, mask off. I think that and there was a recent story where there was a patron that went into an establishment that was mask on, right? This business is expecting all the patrons that come into the business to wear masks, right? Well, this guy threatened the people when they wouldn't serve them, right? They're like, sorry, we need you to have your mask on in this establishment. Well, he threatened to kill them. And so they had to shut their doors because you should never take a death threat lightly. I think we used to take it lightly back in the day. But now in 2021, you can't take those things lightly because of the climate where we are in today's society, where people are losing their jobs. People are they're having people lose their lives because of the pandemic. We having a very big conversation on injustice here in the United States. You know what I mean? Like, there's a lot of stuff boiling right now, and so to get a death threat during this climate right now, you can't take that lightly. And I strongly encourage any of my friends, if you have somebody that is threatening you online, in real life, whatever the case may be, if you are somebody that is experiencing that, don't take that lightly. Take that very seriously, because I'm taking every threat serious. If you threaten me, I'm taking it very seriously, and I'm gonna act accordingly. So make sure that you're not. Please don't. And this business didn't. This business shut down for the day, and to shut down your whole business, just as to shut down your business when just getting business in general is tough. That's a big dent to that company, to those employees, and it's a local business too. I wish I had the local business name because I think that's important. But yeah, man, a lot has been going on in news and life. I'm just happy to be here with you guys. I'm just happy to be able to pod today and get these thoughts out. And I appreciate every single one of you. Whoever's listening to this, I thank you. I thank you for listening. And make sure that you tap in with me on Instagram. The content on Instagram has been nuts. Just at Drerawka on Instagram. Got some really cool things planned. I always tell you guys that if you keep rocking with me, I promise you I'm giving you more and more and more. And I feel and I know I've been a man of my word in doing so. There's a lot of changes coming in life and in business. And I look forward to sharing that with everybody and just being a part of a lot of different things and helping people get where they want to be and just living that righteous life of putting out in life what you want back. Okay. I'm gonna call it a day. I think we're at 54 minutes. Let's call it a day. I appreciate every single one of you. I hope you all have the day you deserve. Stop racial hate. Stop injustice, and pay women more. Y'all have the day you deserve. Peace.